Good morning, parental types, and happy Saturday to you all. Whilst you're all out probably enjoying lovely sunshine outside, I'm in here putting together another video because I made a promise to someone that I would, and I'm not one of these people that can not fulfill a promise. So I'm going to shoot through this and then go out and enjoy the sunshine. I did my last video on parental control app. We chose Custodio because at the time that was one that I'd looked at and done some research on. So once that had been published, a friend came and mentioned one called Norton Family. So Norton Family is actually a tenner cheaper than Custodio, and also is unlimited when it comes to devices and profiles that you want to add. So what I've done is I've had a look at it, and I can honestly say all of the apps that I have previously looked at, this is by far the best one I've come across in the time that I've been looking at them. It's basically got everything that you would need in a parental control app. You can customize the web filters, you can put time restrictions on each of your different kids, track their location in real time, and you can see all the latest updates and alerts in a well-designed sort of dashboard. There is a slight difference in the web-based dashboard and the one you would access through your parental version of the Norton Family app. And I say version, what I mean is the app's the same, but you log into it as a parent, and it gives you all the extra features. So what I did was I basically tried to break it like I do with them all, and it's one of those ones that is actually very good, because kids, as I've mentioned before, are extremely switched on, and the first thing they do when they're restricted is try and find a way around it. They couldn't get around the web filters or the time restrictions, in my opinion. I think they're pretty solid. The one thing that I did find is that you can get around the restriction on YouTube videos, because Norton Family will only monitor YouTube through the browser and not through the app. But you know, it's very easy to get around that. You just block them from using the YouTube app. So it basically forces them to watch through the browser, and then you still have control. And you can do that on the Android version, but I don't think you can do it on the iPhone version of the app. At least that's what it says on the screen. So maybe that's something that's in their roadmap to get done. The other good thing about the Norton app is that it's very much in the line of what I've said in the past, is they take the line of communication with your kids. It's not a spyware app. It's not something you install in the background and they don't know about it. It's very in their face. They know exactly what's there, and they know exactly what it's doing, because you have something called house rules, which you can set up, which I'll show you very quickly when we go through it. But it's something you can sit down with your kids and you can chat to them about, and when you set up their profile, that there are different profiles available to ages, to age ranges. So it will give like default settings that you know it believes appropriate for those sort of age limits, and you can go in and customize those afterwards. But the main thing to realize is that it is very much, you know, sit them down and go through those house rules with them. That they're on the screen. You can go through them with them. And the other thing is, if they get blocked from a site, they have an option to say, you know, message you as a parent and say why they think they should have access to it. So it's all very two-way conversation, which I think is brilliant, and certainly instills that responsibility in them from an early age too. There's a feature on there as well called remote learning, which, especially in the current climate where, you know, we're dealing with homeschooling and stuff like that, there will be times when they need access to the internet and stuff to be able to do their work. And if you've put a time limit on them for being able to use apps or being able to use the web, you don't really want them losing out because they're doing schoolwork, because that'll stop them from doing it. So the Norton family is basically able to recognize when they're in their remote learning phase, because you'll put their details in there, and the time limit clock stops, because it basically then them doing schoolwork isn't a punishment for them with regards to the amount of time they have on there. So from the usage that I've had of it, it's able to block inappropriate websites. It can filter search results from most of the major search engines. Again, you would then combine blocking apps and also uncategorized websites to stop them from using search engines that aren't of the major brand. You get alerts when they try and access the restricted sites. You can set up time limits for each device, and each child profile can have more than one device on there or a Windows PC, but certain things won't work on a Windows PC, such as location and naturally location of the device and stuff. And you can instantly lock their device as well. If you want to put them on a naughty step for a bit, you can do that through the dashboards and through the app. So yeah, there are some minor features that are missing that have been available in other parental control programs, but like the app-based time restrictions. But overall, when it comes to Norton family, I think very, very pleased with it against what I've seen in the past. Features wise, it's pretty good. It's close to a 10 as far as I'm concerned. It's basically built to help you monitor what the kids are doing online. It helps you prevent them from getting addicted to screen time. It keeps them safe, which obviously is the most important thing out of all of this. It's not about anything apart from helping to keep them safe, and it does that with bells on. And it's got a really impressive list of features that are geared towards that. So you've got the age appropriate web filters, which you can personalize. You can add exceptions and the like, but basically you've got the very high, which is for age 8 and younger. You got high, which is recommended for about 8 to 11 years of age. There's the moderate, which would be your 12 to 14 year olds, and then low, you would hope that the responsibility and trust is at a good stage then, and that's for the 15 to 17 year olds. It uses a smart AI, so it's quite good at categorizing websites based on what's on there, basically the text that's on the screen, all of the metadata that's in the background of each site, and it's also looking at the images that are on the website. So there's 47 categories that cover a lot of different subjects, so it's quite granular in what you're able to block and what you're able to allow. Anything from news to entertainment, porn, alcohol, drugs, betting, they're all separate customizations in there. Spend some time going through that and looking to see what is there, what you want to be available and what you don't want to be available. Goes without saying that it's your responsibility as parents to choose what you think they should be allowed to look at. But if you have specific sites that you want them to be able to go to, you can add them to a whitelist, and that bypasses all the filters. Cool. But on the other hand, there's the allow list, but there's also the block list as well. So if there's things that you've found they've been able to get to, or you don't have block uncategorized websites on, which in my opinion you should have on, because one of the things from my past role is the fact that an organization I worked for allowed uncategorized websites, and there's probably hundreds of thousands, if not in the millions, of websites cropping up every day. So for them to all be categorized instantly is just not going to happen, whether you use an AI or any other system. So you need to consider how many dangerous websites there are cropping up every day. And if you click block and categorize websites, they're all blocked instantly. They can't get to them until they've been placed into a category. Common sense to me, but you know, take my advice, which is based on some harsh experience, or don't. But you know, the advice is there. So you can also choose how you want to monitor each device. So by putting supervision levels, they're called, and they're basically broken down as follows. That you can have it on as monitor, so you're basically letting them do what they want on the device, but it will give you updates and alerts on what websites they're going to. You can warn, which will mean that they get a warning on the screen saying that they're attempting to access a website that might be inappropriate. They have the option of either ignoring the warning or proceeding to the website, or the standard, which I think is the best, is block, and the website won't even open. They'll get a message that it's been blocked, but they also get that option then to say, you know, well, I think I should be allowed to go to this website, and they get to send that message to you to say why, and then you can have that discussion, or you can just allow it or deny it. Yeah, because no organization knows your kid. You know your kid, so you have to decide the trust levels when you're applying these settings to the device, because if you're monitoring a 16-year-old and use warn settings, that might not be appropriate for 11 and 14-year-olds. For the younger kids, you maybe want the block option on completely. But again, it's down to you. The options are there for that reason. The one of the other really nice features is the prevent screen addiction. So you can set up actual green zones throughout the day, each day when they can use their device. On different days, you can maybe during the week 2 hours. At the weekends maybe they're allowed 5 hours on their device, and then only during certain periods of the day. So say come 9 o'clock at night, you want them to have no access, even if they've got time left on their schedule. That access is completed, and they're finished with the device. The instant lock options, so again, like I said, if you want to stick them on the naughty step, automatically lock their device, and they're done. Without a 4-digit PIN code that you've got, they can't get into their device. Especially if they've got multiple devices, you might want to lock down their phones and tablets, but still allow them to use their computer, because maybe that's where they're doing their homework. It's a good way of stopping distractions, especially if on the computer you've got everything locked down, social media wise, and the like. You have that level of granularity to control access on there. So the other piece on that is, again, another way of communicating through this is the additional time request. So they get to their time limit, and as is probably always the case with kids, they want more. So say you have that time limit, it kicks in on the device. They can then send you a request for an extra 30 minutes, extra hour, whatever it is. You can consider that request. You can give them that time back. You can give them more time, all through the click of a button on your app on your phone. Monitoring apps, again, this is quite a good one. It gives you basically, when you set up the Norton on any device, you will notice that it asks you for a lot of permissions, and that may seem scary or seem like you're given too many, but you've got to understand that you are monitoring everything on their device through your device, so it needs a lot of permissions to be able to do a lot of the things that you can do. So it will ask you for permission to access the app usage data. What it does then, it compiles a list of the apps on their device, and then you can choose which devices to allow and which to block. Like I said before about YouTube, you can block the YouTube, any other video apps like that, and force them to go through the browser, which you will have then your other restrictions or house rules on. I think remote learning we've covered. The location tracking, very useful. Only works in the States, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand and Japan at the minute. And iPhone and iPad users can also track in the US, UK, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Indonesia and Hong Kong if you go on your travels with the kids. Video supervision for YouTube and Hulu. I've already explained how to get best out of that. Block the app and let them go through the browser. It basically, as I'll show you in a minute, it shows you a thumbnail quite similar to Custodio when we went through that one, and you can see the YouTube search terms that we used in that part of the dashboard as well. I've written quite a few notes, so I'm just going through this at the minute before I get on to showing you the actual gubbins behind it, because I'm aware that I sometimes make videos that are far too long because I waffle a lot apparently sometimes. Installation, really easy. You set up your account online, you download the app onto, well actually before you do that you set up a profile for each of the kids, and then it'll ask you, what sort of device you're adding to. If it's an Android, it'll then tell you on their device to go to the Android store and download the device. Simple as. You can even QR code scan it if you want to. You go to on their device, you download it, you log in with your account details, and then it'll ask you if you're a parent or if it's a child's device. Obviously the child's device, and then you carry on the installation on the website where you started it. It is very simple, but as I say, it does ask for a lot of device admin rights, which I have gone through and I believe are all valid requirements. Yeah, ease of use, I rated this quite highly as well, because it is a very user-friendly program. It's very intuitive. The dashboard for each of the kids and their devices is very simple. It's got all of the detail that you could possibly want on there. The app has more availability with regards to what you can do. It has a lot more features, and it's worth working your way around that. I'm not going to go too deep into the weeds on this because there is a lot of detail to get through, but yeah, it is quite simple, and as I say, it's unlimited for the amount of children you can add. If you have like 7 or 8 children, I mean, fair play to you for a start if you've still got hair, but you can then look at each of those separately, and under there you can have unlimited devices for each of the children. So you can have their phone, their tablet and their PC. Excellent amount of availability there for what is a very well priced program. £30 for the year, and you can add as many as you want to it, whereas Custodio obviously was 5 devices for £40, so you can start to see 5 devices for £40. So the profit, not the profit, the value for money is already well up there. Support, I've only seen good things about their support, and in fact I used the support to get access to the free trial to be able to do this, and I spoke to them through basically the chat app, and they were instantly on, spoke to me and sorted it out for me, and I was done and dusted within about 5 minutes. I had what I'd needed, and away I went. So it was a live person. It wasn't a bot or anything like that, and they helped me get sorted. So that is sort of covering off on what I think of it, and in case you didn't realize, I reckon it's as close to a 10 as you can get. As I said, there's a couple of features that I think would be quite useful for them to add, but as it stands, for 30 quid a day, well, if it was 30 quid a day, I'd probably change my business. But yeah, for 30 quid a month, I think spot on. Can't beat it. I'm just going to run now through some of the features and stuff stuff that are available on here, and you will see this is the web-based dashboard. You get the alerts. You can see that Donald, as always, Donald and Boris are my lovely imaginary children. One of them needs a lot more supervision on the internet and on social media than the other. I'll let you guess who that is. But this is the... Excellent, I just need to log in. And I'm not going to save that. So yeah, this is the very front screen. And you can see here that I've got a trial version. And this is I'm monitoring 2 kids. And if I click in here, I'll go in, I'll have the dashboard, which gives me access to Boris and Donald's profiles, under which there are devices, which I can go and view. So if we go into Boris, because he's slightly more, I was going to say he's slightly more responsible, but obviously from a quick look here, we can see that Boris has been up to some dodgy stuff. So if we drill down into what Boris has been up to, we can see that his search terms, what he's been searching for, and he has been searching for a dodgy site, which is not what I expect of him. You can go to the website if you so wish. I'm not going to make that mistake on this video like I did on the last video, but I skillfully edited out so you didn't see that. You can see that there's lots of content there for what he's been doing on the web. You have the house rules up here, so you can quickly change that and bring that down if you so wish. You can change monitor 1 block like I spoke about. Web categories is nothing is in there because we are on monitor. So if we go to block, yeah, so block, there's all those different categories that I told you about. There's 47 of them in there. You can add to the block list in here, add to the allow list in here. Nice and easy, there's nothing difficult about that at all. I'm not going to do that. So that's the web categories. Nice drop down here for the time, tells you how long he's used of his quota. You can obviously go into house rules, change the quotas. Mondays we've got 2 hours during the week, we've got 5 hours on a Saturday. This is the time, the way to change the time, very easy. Go to Sunday, there's Saturday, Friday's 2 hours. The time zones or the time frames, if you want to change those, you can do so nice and easily here. But back to 9 o'clock I think, and after that he won't have access. The pin that you need for the phone if you decide to do the automatic lock on the device, and you can add emergency contacts in there too. Again, all very simple I think, and self-explanatory. Mobile apps, that's the apps he's using or has used. House rules, add any apps that you don't want them to get access to. That's a list of all the apps that are on their device, so you can choose to delete or block, such as what I've done there. Not delete, that's the wrong word. Location history, that's shown on the dashboard at the start. But yeah, you can drill down into that, get a nice little visual. I don't actually live at 59 Lane, so I won't feel the need to delete that or edit that out, because for some reason it thinks I live at a different address than I do, which is good. I like that. But the map actually does show where it is, where the addresses might be slightly confused. Searches, he's been looking for dodgy stuff. He's a naughty boy, needs to be spoken to. That's all the major search engines it covers, and then remember to use the app blocking to stop them getting around that. And then videos, any videos that they look at will be listed there. I'm going to quickly show you Donald, because Donald did go to some dodgy sites, but Donald was blocked from visiting sort of Betfred because it was a gambling site. But down here, Donald tried to visit a blocked website, but he did send you an explanation as to why. And Donald thinks that PornTube is a research purposes kind of website. So I'm going to go and chat to Donald after this, and we're going to discuss what sort of research it is he wanted to do. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to allow that website. I think we'll leave that as blocked because we know better than Donald. So that's the web-based dashboard. Here is the Android app version. I've logged in as a parent, and as you can see, you've got the school time one here for the remote learning one. It's limited to literally educational web content, but it doesn't take off from their time limit, so all good. If I wanted to instant lock his device, this is where it is, and I've instantly locked his device. Supervision house rules, they're the ones that have been set up beforehand. So in here, that's where your major rules are. You can go through each of them with them, talk about them, and explain why you've got those on. And I think that is about it for this video. Yeah, happy with Norton family. I get nothing for this. I don't expect anything for this, so this is purely based on me going in, having a root around and seeing how it compares to others that I've done. They did give me a free trial, but I think that's available to people if you just go and ask for it. But as far as I'm concerned, child safety wise, it's as close to a 10 as I'm probably ever going to give. I would certainly recommend that you either try and get a free trial yourself, which you can get through a link that I will put into the comments or the description below. Try the 30-day trial and see how it works for you. But other than that, spot on. So remember to share, remember to subscribe to the channel so you can get future videos and content. Any suggestions, drop them down in the comments or send me an email. And I will catch you next time after I've been in the garden enjoying the sun and maybe drinking some alcoholic beverages. Enjoy your weekends and stay safe. Cheers.